Okay. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody to the August 14th meeting of the Rhinebeck Village Board. Kind of with mixed emotions that we're holding this meeting tonight. As you can see, Gail Haskins is sitting in the crowd this evening, and Lisa Bacardi-Clark is sitting here at the table. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Gail for her years of service to the village of Rhinebeck. Tremendous asset to myself and to the board, and I know I speak for the entire board when I say that Gail did a fantastic job for us in this community, and we thank her very much. And a new chapter begins. Lisa Bacardi-Clark is our new clerk treasurer. Lisa is a longtime Rhinebeck resident, born and raised here, went to school here. Knows the community very well, very, very capable person. So we welcome Lisa and we wish her well in her new position.
Thank you.
And without further ado, I know Joel has to go to another meeting. Joel Tyner, our county legislator.
Thank you, sir. Hi, Lisa. I've known actually Lisa and Gail for over 30 years because we all three graduated from Rhinebeck High a long, long time ago. Anyway, I have handouts. I wanted to invite you all to a forum that I'm doing across the way at Rhinebeck Town Hall on Tuesday, August 28th at 5:30 p.m. And I'm actually looking to try to enlist at least one or two of you on the board and maybe some people watching or here in the room. Because we could be saving a lot of money for the village of Rhinebeck and the town of Rhinebeck and municipalities all over the county with a countywide health insurance consortium that Tompkins County has in place now. They've had it in place for a year or two. They're saving over $860,000 a year. It's pretty pertinent because I can't get to all the Rhinebeck Town Board meetings. I try to get as many of them as possible. And there's folks, who are concerned about, health benefits of municipal employees. I don't think anybody really wants to see town or village employees have their health insurance benefits cut. I don't think anybody wants that. But I know folks are talking about that and discussing it. My point is this. I've been working on this for several years. Last November, the Dutchess County Association of Supervisors and Mayors unanimously passed a resolution saying we need to do this. I brought Steve Losey from Losey and Cahill down from Syracuse to make a presentation at Copperfields and Millbrook at a monthly meeting of the Dutchess County Association of Supervisors and Mayors. That was last November. It's still not happening. So I'm really seriously looking to enlist the help and support, volunteer maybe from somebody on this board, anybody watching, listening right now in the room or otherwise, because I don't want to go another 5, 10, 20 years with Tompkins County's doing this. And they're saving $860,000 a year for the taxpayers of Tompkins County. They got 13 to 17 municipalities on board. No employee benefits are being cut. They got labor representation there, and they're saving a ton of money, and there's no cuts to the benefits. And this is something that the municipalities in Dutchess County seem to want. The county government's not getting off the dime on this. So I would love it if one or two of you could come to this forum on Tuesday the 28th of this month, 5:30 p.m. across the way, Rhinebeck Town Hall. I'm making the same pitch to them because it just seems to me to be a real easy win-win. Dutchess County, we have about 3 times the population of Tompkins County. I think we could save about $2.5 million a year for the taxpayers of Dutchess County doing this for the municipalities on health insurance benefits without cutting anything from the employees' health benefits. So I just thought I'd invite you to that. Something else that I think would be a good way to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps here in Dutchess County, there's been something for 3 years called the Green Jobs, Green New York program. Right now in Dutchess County, a lot of people don't know this. If your combined household income is less than $175,000 a year, you're eligible for a free energy audit. Heather Saunders, who's the Intergovernmental Affairs Director for NYSERDA, told me that only 548 homeowners in Dutchess County, out of about 110,000 homeowners in Dutchess County, about less than 600 have taken advantage of this program. Why am I bringing this up? Because for a long time I've had this idea, what if we have a friendly competition, Rhinebeck, Red Hook, Hyde Park, Clinton, pit the towns and cities and villages against each other, maybe county to county. All this free money is sitting there. There's a lot of green jobs that could be created. and the energy efficiency loan retrofits the offers are made after the energy audits are made. Why can't we have county government facilitate sort of a friendly competition to see which town can have the most, per capita homeowners taking advantage of this? And it's Green Jobs, Green New York. It's NYSERDA.org. And this is another idea we'll be talking about at this forum, August 28th, 5:30 p.m. across the way, Rhinebeck Town Hall. I'm not going to take too long. I got to run to Clinton Town Hall. Just very quickly, this is today the 77th anniversary of Dutchess County's own Franklin Delano Roosevelt signing Social Security into law. I'm hoping that we can send a message to Washington because, frankly, there's folks in both parties' leadership that unfortunately have jeopardized Social Security recently. And this right here in Dutchess County, we gave birth to Social Security 77 years ago. The only other thing I'll say is a lot of folks in Rhinebeck, this is sort of a no-brainer. I went to high school in Rhinebeck. I live in the town of Clinton. A lot of people here get their water from the Hudson River. Unfortunately, it's become really clear that fracking is about to start happening, and the watersheds are connected in this state. So I urge people to go to nyagainstfracking.org and get involved before it's too late. Thank you. I got to run to the Clinton Town Board meeting.
Thanks, Joel.
Yep.
Okay, next item on the agenda. We have Solid Waste Task Force. Gary Kenton and several of the members of the task force are here. Just to give some background, over the last several years, the Village Board has identified the need to address how we handle solid waste in the village. And we came up with the idea of trying to form a joint task force along with the town to look at it on a town and village-wide basis, not just a village-wide basis. So I had approached the town board, asked them to join us and partner with us to form this group, which happened. The task force has been working for many months now. They have reported to the town and recently completed and reported in writing to the village board and are here tonight to speak with us. Gary?
Thank you, Mayor Reardon, and thank you for empowering us to do our work. Susan Covell, Jeff Romano, Bill Dowden and myself are the members here of the task force. Others were not able to join us tonight. But we have worked on this for a number of months, and we provided you with a report. But we felt like you got the report. You don't need me to review it and go over it point by point. We're here to answer any questions you might have about it. But I felt like the more useful thing would be to jump right into the 600-pound gorilla question, which is, does the village continue in the business or not? And as much as possible in a public forum to have that discussion and to raise some of the possibilities. I will say there were people on the task force. We were not unanimous. I think, as with most task forces, we try to be very even-handed and open to various ideas. There were people on the task force who definitely favored privatization, the sooner the better. I think it's fair to say most on the task force did not. And what we wanted to do was lay out the options as we saw them and some of the ramifications of those choices. And since we submitted our report, sort of a new possibility has raised itself. Jeff Romano has had some contact with the Cornell Extension Service, and they are hooked up with the Energy Department. They have some ideas that they would like to explore with us. Jeff will tell you a little more, but there are some other options that might be available to the village if the village wants to pursue them. We certainly hope that we can have some additional meetings with those folks about that. Because I think, again, speaking for the majority of people in the task force, we wanted to try to find a path that would allow the village to stay in the trash pickup business. And so that's that's where we are as a group, and we'll, like I said, we'll happy to answer any questions you might have, or and Jeff can tell you more about the discussions he's had with Cornell.
Jeff, you want to come up and speak now?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'd like to thank the board for, supporting us in this effort. My job was to deal with transportation and the energy associated with transportation. And I've been lobbying heavily Cornell University, and I finally got a breakthrough in the last couple of days. They have what is called the Cornell Fuel Cell Institute. And I talked to Dr. Paul Matolo, who's Director of External Partnerships. And they very much would like to sit down with the trustees and discuss their program. They actually take biomass, turn it into hydrogen, turn it into fuel cells, and retrofit vehicles. And as they are a land-grant institution, their job is to reach out to communities and partner with them. They see Rhinebeck as a fantastic opportunity because of everything Rhinebeck's been doing, with the energy systems and the renovations and the progressive nature of Rhinebeck. I couldn't hold this guy back. He wanted to get down here as soon as he can with his team, sit down, discuss the entire program. They are in partnership with Ford and General Motors, and also with the Department of Energy, so this is a big deal opportunity for us. Do you have any questions?
So, I mean, they're looking to develop programs, basically, is what, I mean, does this have proven track record anywhere at this time, or is this something new?
Yes, it does. I mean, they're right now using small vehicles, but the timing is perfect because they're moving into larger vehicles, big trucks. They're working with the ag school. The two conglomerates up there have moved together, so they're moving into bigger trucks. So they're wanting now to branch out. It is a proven commodity.
I guess where I'm going with the question is, of course, cost is always that's the first thing I always think.
Right.
What's it going to cost us to do this?
Well, right now
Are they looking to develop something? So there's a possibility here for us to be like a pilot program?
Correct, right. So this is an applied technology, applied science initiative. So they create all these things in the lab, and then they want to apply it in the real world. So what they need are communities like us to say, yeah, we're on the cusp here. We're not sure what we want to do.
I can't believe they're not here yet.
Our technologies are aging. Our machinery is aging. We need them. They need us in order for this to move forward. And all I was asking before any decision was made by the board, if you would just sit and have the team come down from Cornell. They would come down here, do their presentation, answer questions, and then maybe go up to Ithaca and see what they're doing up there. Work together.
Well, conversation's worth having.
Right.
Yeah. Jeff, is this a situation where we're talking new equipment, or are we talking they can retrofit what we have?
Both, yeah. I think GM and Ford, right now they're moving towards doing large trucks because that's where most of the emission problems are. So it might be an opportunity to get a new truck, or I talked a lot about retrofitting, the current trucks. And this is not just the trash trucks. This would be all the trucks, the entire fleet. Yeah. And also partnering with the other towns and villages, in the region, because, the trucks really should work 24/7. They wouldn't work 24/7 here. So there was a lot of, ways to link everybody together. This really is out of Cornell itself, and then they called the extension and linked the extension to Cornell, because sometimes the two of them, don't always know what each other is doing. So the exciting thing for me about it is that what they talked about is the more people we can get at the table, members of trustees of boards, universities, the school system, other communities, then the more successful that this can come. And the money will then, we talked about funding, and the funding could come. So right now, we have a lot to talk about, but this is not something that would cost the village any money. Yeah, they need an incubator. They need a guinea pig, so to speak. Yeah.
Do you have a website or anything, a web page or something?
Yeah, I can forward all that information, yeah.
Okay. What kind of fuel do they use?
Well, they have all kinds. There was a little over my head when they were talking about exactly what they're doing. The exciting thing, though, was that they take, part of it was that they actually take trash, they take solid waste, and through their new systems, turn that into hydrogen, which then they turn into fuel cells. So the truck, so what we pick up can actually power the trucks. And that stuff's already out there. It's already working. And that was just one of the things that they were talking about. Then we talked about scaling down the truck. So you don't need to have this large behemoth out there. There's more nimble, smaller trucks that are able to do the work.
That was one of my questions. questions. Do you know if there's any trucks out there that have garbage on one side and on the other side for recyclables?
Yeah, actually, who picks up my trash? Toucan does that. They have these diverter. Yeah, it's one truck, and it goes in one side, it goes in the other side, and then there's a lot of new trucks out there that even with one operator, an arm picks it up, dumps it on this side, and then picks up the other container and dumps it on the other side. So there's ways to.
Waste management has them too.
Sorry?
Waste management has them too, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I looked at it was one, how to make it faster and more efficient, both on the standpoint of the vehicles and on the labor side, so that it's not 3-4 guys going out there. It's one truck, one person. Yeah.
That's great.
How would we go about facilitating this then, Jeff? I mean, do we need to contact them, or?
No, I'd be happy to, do the logistics on this. I would just need, 3 dates from the board, what is best for you. Give them a call and work it out. Get them to come down here.
How much lead time do they need, I mean.
He was ready to come down today. I said, well, I have a meeting today, and maybe, I said, no, you just hold off. So I don't think it's, I think it's at whatever works best for the board.
Why don't I'll look at my schedule, I'll suggest some dates to the board and see if we can come up with something.
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
And I'll be in touch with you.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate your work.
You're welcome.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but one of the issues that kept on coming up for us when we talked about the village staying in the business is the idea that you have there's the situation you have with these various carriers who already have clients. So that we researched into it a little bit, and your discussions are probably beyond where we are, but just to say that legal hurdle of legally, if you were of a mind to, could you tell a hauler who's out there working now, sorry, we're going to put this out for bid and only have one hauler. So I believe, from what I know, that this possibility may be a way to deal with that issue, because if there is a consortium, if there are some partnerships, if you're becoming part of a bigger project, that might provide a legal path to get around that issue. I'm really raising the issue more than I'm not making a claim, because I'm not far enough along, but I'm just saying that we recognize that as a hurdle. I've been in communities elsewhere where a hauler had clients and didn't take kindly to the idea that they were not going to have, have to give up those clients. So I know that is a hurdle, but I think this kind of partnership might be able to provide a way around that.
Gary, one question I have, and since we had gone to the town and agreed with the town to form this joint task force, we all know that the entire situation on the town side, the roadmap had changed. They went ahead and privatized the transfer station.
Right.
So my question to you, I guess, is to you directly, is how do you feel that leaves the village of Rhinebeck as far as, I mean, now we have no opportunity for a shared service with the town anymore. So basically, to me, what it appears to be is that we would then have to contract, if we wanted to haul our waste to the transfer station, with a private carrier that is going to, that whoever's the contract has with the town. The overriding thing for me has always been that we don't, our efficiency as far as waste is absolutely horrible. We pick up 25% of the community. We make these trips to Poughkeepsie, all right, and there was a transfer station 5 miles away from us, and I'm just trying to look at the picture as it exists now, where we no longer have the ability to share with the town. Did your group look at that at all?
Well, we came into it hoping very much that there could be a more unified approach, but the town, things happen as you're working, and that's why we actually were preparing information for you first, and then it came to our attention that the town was moving quickly, so we shifted gears and got a report to them. Because it was not going to be feasible to extend pickup service town-wide in the short term anyway. So from our standpoint, I don't see that this changes things dramatically, but yeah, I have not had contact with the private company up there. I've heard, about some changes they've made, and I don't know I should know, but I don't even know the term of the contract or anything like that. I would think that if the village were to, if after discussions, there's some interest in pursuing a partnership, a bigger program that involves others, I think the town, I can say I know certain people on that board would be interested in knowing about that. Could change, I don't think they're stuck long-term on anything, and I don't know that the private company out there might not be able to be involved too. So I'm giving you a lot of nothing, I know, but I think you got, the village is the big prize as an incubator here more than the town, because they weren't doing pickup anyway.
Right.
So in terms of pursuing this possibility, you guys are the main issue, and we'll be happy. Some of the task force members are gone. They're tired of this. But those, we have a small crew who will be happy to continue to work with you. And
our biggest concern, of course, is the cost. And we're facing within in the short term, brand new equipment at a cost of several $100,000.
Right.
And that's the big thing that the picture we look at is, we want to operate as efficiently as we possibly can. And I know personally, I've always said that, if only 25% of our community uses the service, apparently 75% doesn't think we're doing a very good job. We're not offering something they need. So what do we do to improve that?
I'll accept about half of that. I think the situation evolved over a long period of time, and I think there are a lot of people, Jeff was just saying earlier, if people were faced with a choice, especially if we had an involvement of a group like that, we can't make you sign up with the village. But you sign up with the village, you're signing up for a program that's going to be more energy efficient, it's going to reduce air pollution, you're going to do all these things. That's a pretty good competitive stance that I think a lot of people in Rhinebeck respond to. I know the public hearing that you guys had about solid waste, I know not everyone was represented at that meeting, but it was unanimous. People want the village to stay in the business, and I think once they're presented with real choice, I think the 25% figure can change. How much it can change, I don't know, but I think our report said if there were no changes in the program or the way things are done, yeah, right. The people on the task force heard me say one more than once. If the situation stays exactly as it is, privatization is the only choice. And if I'm sitting on the board, that would be my choice. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we might have some other things to look at.
So we're not the only ones that think that way, huh?
Right. No. Yeah.
I can answer maybe some of the questions about the town. I think it's a 3-year contract. And they are able to amend the contract, because I think some of the discussion at the town board meeting was that they would like to do some recycling, they would like to do some composting, and that they can go back into the contract and ask the hauler or ask the contract holder to make room for those kinds of facilities to happen at the site. And also with this program that I was talking about earlier, a lot of that would happen maybe, where the landfill is and where all the other debris is. So I think there is opportunity, again, to collaborate with the town in the contract.
Mm-hmm. I'll introduce you. We have another task force member, Victoria Polidoro. And
come on up, Victoria.
Since we're just having a discussion, I think I can answer part of, one comment about why people don't use the current system. I do use it, but it's terribly inconvenient to have to tag each bag. And there will be situations where you'll want to take a half-empty bag of garbage out because you don't want it in the house anymore, but then you have to ask, do I use a whole sticker on it? Do I wait? And there's many Tuesday mornings when I don't have any at all, because it's hard to get to Village Hall during working hours. So I do think that's part of the problem with the current system, is that it's just not convenient. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you have one of those big blue bins, you just throw it in and you don't think about it. The second issue I just want to bring up is that there are so many trucks on the road. On my street alone, there's 4 different haulers. There's Toucan, there's Royal Welsh, there's the Village. I think I saw another one, Waste Management. And so on certain mornings, you'll get one recycling truck. and then a garbage truck, and then a recycling truck, and a garbage truck. So there's 4 trucks going down one village road, or 8 trucks, to do the job that 1 or 2 trucks could do if it was all run by either the village or by one company. And I know this board has an issue with trucks and traffic, so on our streets every day, not just during Fair Week, we have inefficient use of roads and trucks and traffic. So that's all.
Anything else? Board have any questions I want to ask?
I had a basic question. What happens to recyclables now? Are most of the recyclables incinerated, whether you have Welsh or waste, or whether you use the village, and then we presumably take it to the same place, or is there?
I don't have a definitive answer to that,
Okay.
and when we surveyed the companies, we did not get definitive answers, but they certainly claim to be recycling, which means
Okay, I thought they were
it should not be
I didn't know
being
that.
incinerated. But I never got out and followed the trucks, which is what I guess you'd have to do.
I can answer for the village, because I actually went with the truck, the recycling truck. There's a building on Fulton Street, Dutchess County Resource Recovery Agency, I believe is the name, Tony. And they dump this right on the ground there, inside the building. It's not where the incinerator is. It's a couple miles away.
Okay.
And then apparently it gets separated and recycled there. Is that what happens, Tony? Tony's village employee here.
Sometimes.
I mean, we don't know what happens once we dump the stuff.
It gets recycled, it gets all gone through, everything's mixed right now, and then it gets gone through, and then if they get over full, it goes down to the incinerator and just gets burned.
From that county agency?
Yeah.
And, some of the haulers bring it to, I think there's a facility in Beacon.
Yeah, there's a new facility in Beacon.
Which is rather large, and that's the single stream recycling center. So everything gets brought there, goes through these huge conveyor belts and gets sorted out. So it kind of depends on, who your hauler is. That's one of the advantages to sticking with one system, so that we know where our waste is going and how it's being used and if it's been recycled properly. I mean, certainly a lot of these things shouldn't be going to the burn plant.
That was one of the issues we brought up, is that one of the haulers has an agreement with the incinerator where they get a reduced fee the more they bring down there. So there's a definite incentive against recycling for them. The more stuff they bring to the incinerator, the better their price is. So that's an issue, and as Jeff said, one of the reasons to maintain as much control as possible is so that you can actually determine where stuff is going and know exactly where it's going. And I think people in Rhinebeck would appreciate that transparency. It's just hard when you have so many players.
I think that's the advantage of going with a partner. I mean, that's what we need in this. We're not quite large enough to do it ourselves, and that's the advantage of this Cornell program, because they talked about all these issues about recycling, where it goes. They don't want to see municipalities privatize the system because they know what happens to the trash. So it's pretty comprehensive. I didn't want to put the impression that it's only about the trucks and it's only about the fuel. They would help us, manage this in a comprehensive way.
I just wanted to thank the task force. Gary, I think what you and your group has done is really phenomenal. I mean, obviously you put a lot of work into it, a lot of hours into it, and I think everybody here was really impressed with the report. And I just wanted to suggest to the board that it would seem to me that the public would really benefit from a real thorough summary by the task force, a presentation by the task force, and so that maybe we could schedule a workshop in the near future where they could really present to the public what they did so that they have the benefit of reading what we've read, and do that before we engage in much more discussion about this. Would be.
Well, what I was going to ask tonight, too, is as long as the board doesn't have an issue with it, that this get put on the website.
Right. Right.
We'd be happy to do that. We like talking about trash. So we'll be, we'd be happy to do that and
Trash
engage.
talker?
Exactly. And have, if more people get involved in the conversation, the better. So
I think, I think what would be a good idea is if Jeff can make these contacts with these people for from Cornell. And then perhaps we can do a public forum and either do it here or do it at the high school.
Yeah, I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
You know?
We could invite, they were excited about the fact that we have the hospital here, which generates a lot, and the school system. So we might then do, you know, a real comprehensive agenda.
You know, my thought process would be here, throw it out to the Dutchess County Mayors and Supervisors Association, and let
Right.
anybody that's interested know about it. If they want to come, see if we can get a night at the high school and see if they want to come.
Yeah, the way they were presenting it to me, it's not exactly a ground floor thing, but we're on the cusp that it's going to explode. So now is a good time to start creating these alliances. Mm-hmm. And that, like I said earlier, the bigger the group, the more successful it is, because that's what they said, that's what drives the funding. You know, the more people that are sitting at the table, the more leaders, the more municipalities, the more school systems and hospitals and users, that drives the funding. They were very excited about that part of it.
All right. Okay. Gary, thank you. All the members of the task force, we thank you. Excellent job. And just so everybody's aware, there is a 30-page document here that these folks put together. And I guess the board's in agreement. This will be posted to the village website. So it'll probably be on there within a week. Anybody that wants to take a look at it will be able to do that.
Can I just make a legal disclaimer that, no, just that the village attorney needs to go over, I mean, these are ideas, and they weren't vetted for whether or not they were all legal.
I've asked for a copy. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I just want to let you know that there was no legal review done on this.
We're blaming it all on you.
Please don't. That's my disclaimer. I just drove around and collected numbers.
Don't worry, I did the same thing a couple of years ago, so we're all in the same boat.
Victoria said it was okay. Okay, thanks again, folks. All right, next item on the agenda was safe routes to school. Apparently that gentleman is unable to attend, but Terry wanted to speak with us.
I just wanted to give the board an update. I had asked for this to be put on this agenda at this point because I had a grant writer on board and he wanted to come early on because he had another meeting. What has since happened is that he has signed a contract with the city of Kingston to help them apply for exactly the same grant. And there's a conflict of interest there where you can't apply for the same grant for two different communities. So he's had to back out. But he has helped me find someone else who I just spoke to yesterday. I just received his resume, his credentials today. I'm going to forward that to you. He's reviewing our pedestrian task force plan right now and is going to send us an estimate by the end of the week. And I will share all that with you. And then if you're interested, we can get him in the near future. A couple of things that I know just from talking to both of these grant writers right now is that it looks like the maximum that anybody's ever been awarded is about $400,000.
We'll take it.
It's good. Both of them say the same thing, that the work that the pedestrian task force did really does make for a really good presentation, and we've done 70% of what we need to do for this grant application just in the process of what we did back then with the pedestrian task force. It just needs to get put into this application form, and that's very complicated, and that's why we need to pay somebody to do this, and that's what they're doing, because it's very time consuming, it requires a lot of paperwork. The one thing that we seem to be missing, and Jim, this may be something you can help with, is that we need to come into some kind of agreement with the school system that says that we need something in writing from them that basically stipulates that they're interested in working with us on this, that they are interested in promoting walking to school and biking to school. The state and the federal government need to see that the school does not have any regulations that prohibits walking to school or biking to school. I don't think that exists in our school system, but we need to, it's very important that the school system be on board and a real supporter of this, both as a moral supporter and also in terms of working with the village in developing the plans that might exist for the school route itself.
So we need an endorsement from the school, or the school needs to be a partner in this?
They need to endorse us and be a partner in it, not a financial partner, just a working planning partner. The village would be in charge of the project, be applying for the grant, would manage the grant.
School to be
But
partner.
they, you know, I mean, obviously it makes sense, they don't want to give you money if, and then find out the school, for whatever reason,
So they need to
doesn't
be a
want this to
partner from a
happen.
support and a endorsement perspective,
Yep,
not a financial partner.
not a financial
Not a
partner.
project management.
No. I mean, that is an option you could do, but both of these grant writers are suggesting that we not do that we be the manager, we be the applicant. But the grant does specify that you have to have an agreement with the school system, that the
Yeah.
school system is in favor of this.
It says a letter of agreement between the village and the schools to agree to undertake certain activities, including promotion of walking/biking to schools. A letter of agreement.
Right. And this grant can be used for sidewalks, it can be used for bike routes, it can be used for bike racks. It can be used for anything that kind of falls under promoting getting to school on your feet or a bicycle, basically, as I interpret it.
This is only for the elementary school, right?
No, this would be for all schools. This would be for all
Well,
schools.
it says,
I thought this was K through.
it says this, the project for which the village would apply must be within a 2-mile radius of the school K through 8,
Right.
So it'd be kindergarten through Buckley.
8th grade. Yeah.
Buckley
Yeah, but-
School.
Yeah, but they're over by at the high school, so does that knock them
I
out?
haven't measured it to see.
Or does it include them?
I would think it would be both.
It's going to involve the school facilities that we have to worry about.
Right.
Because parts of it, you know, parts of this, of the school route are within 2 miles, no matter how you measure. Maybe the whole route is.
Yeah, the distance isn't the thing. And the high school and the Buckley School are a shared campus.
Right.
Any sidewalk work's going to lead to both of them.
You better come up, otherwise.
I don't have anything, I'm not sure, but what you're talking about is a memorandum of understanding.
I think so.
That's what it is.
I mean, the grant writer, once we bring them on board, will help us obtain this and help us get this in writing the way it needs to be done.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to, you know, I just want to make you aware of it. We're going to have to make the initial ask of the school system and,
It'll be made Thursday.
okay.
Have you started thinking about what kind of plan we're going to present to them? Is, you know, I mean, specifically what routes?
Well, there is a route in the pedestrian task force
Okay.
plan. There is a school route that's marked out on its own, by itself. And my hope is that we would just apply to build that route. And it's just going to require that some preliminary estimates be put together. The grant writer would do that.
My question is, where are we timing-wise, Terry? Because I know that the grant application deadline is September?
No, it's October 5th. It's
October?
October 5th, but we do have to move on it. So that's why I'm trying to get these guys on board, trying to get somebody on board to help us with this. I think, based on having talked to both of them, the low end of the cost is going to be $2,500. The high end is going to be $5,000 for the grant writer services. As I said, I'm waiting for.
Costs
the
money to
estimate.
get grants.
It does, right.
You know, every grant we've applied for, we had to have had cash outlay in some way, shape, or form.
Right. So I don't see how else, we just can't do it without their assistance and the opportunity.
Free money costs.
Right, that's exactly right.
Well, we still have almost 15,000 in our sidewalk budget, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. These are not matching grants, so I don't think, anyway. I think it's a combination of federal and state.
Right.
Yep, it sounded like 5%.
Federal and county.
perhaps.
There might be 5%.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, that's right, we have to come up with something.
All right, well,
So anyway, I'll
make-
keep you posted, and then we can.
Yeah, I'll do this outreach to the school on Thursday and get
Okay.
that can kicked down the road a little bit, and then we'll try and get this gentleman, if we have to have a special meeting to get him in here, let me know, we'll do
Okay.
it.
And I would just say, if anybody out there knows grant writers, it has been very difficult to find grant writers available to do this. And so I'm hoping this person will not back out, but in case he does, if anybody else knows of any,
Well,
let us know.
did you reach out to the grant writer that the town uses?
I have not.
Okay. I happen to have his contract that he has here with the town, and he works on a he works on a contingency basis. He gets paid when he gets the money.
I'll send him a note. I'll send him a note.
Okay.
Okay? All right, department reports. Wastewater? Brant?
Okay, July's report, wastewater treated 3.8 million gallons, gallons of sludge processed 80,600, pounds of sludge processed 10,519, cubic yards of sludge processed 21.7. You guys approved the posting to hire someone temporarily because Don Hackett is out for an indefinite amount of time, and we've closed that period where we're taking resumes. And, well, we would take resumes, but we're not we're not publishing anymore. So we're going to reach out to folks this week for the temporary labor position, the wastewater facility. Also, we need to approve the legal notice to go out for bidding for the sludge cake disposal and for the chemical bid, ferric chloride. Should I read this, or I put it in your folder, or I had it put in your folder?
Yeah, this is the annual thing we do.
Yeah, we do this annually. And basically, we have our sludge removed with a 20-yard dumpster, and we need certain chemicals, ferric chloride, 8,300 gallons of ferric chloride, and 84,000 pounds of lime in a year. So we need to go out to bid on that. So I'd like a resolution to
Make a motion.
like to make a motion that we go out to bid for the sludge cake disposal and the ferric chloride slash lime bid, annual ferric chloride slash lime bid.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Lisa, you'll post those? Thank you.
So that's all I have. That's all I have for now.
Water Department, Wayne?
It's on there.
Okay, the water treatment plant treated 15,583 gallons of water during the month of July. It was a fairly quiet month. We had one small water main break in the town, which was repaired. You guys got the report, if anybody's got any questions. We do have an opening at the water plant because we had a resignation of Todd Campbell, who has left us. We did post the position, and we did have an applicant that is within the village system. Tony Fada has applied for the position. He has been interviewed by our chief plant operator, Tom Wallbank, who has recommended that Tony be hired in the water plant and would be transferred over from the highway department. So I would like to make a motion that the board accept Tony's relocation from the highway department to the water plant.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Congratulations, Tony.
Tony has been with us for about 3 years? 12 years, wow, great. And he's doing a great job for us in the highway department. I think he's going to be a real good asset to us in the water department. Tony will go through the process of getting his certification, which is a one-year certification process, which he'll have to work in the plant under a certified operator, and he's going to do a great job for us. And welcome aboard. Along those lines, in order to have Tony move from the highway department to the water plant, there are some logistical situations that we have to deal with because his accrued time is in the highway department. We have to move the financial scenario of his accrued time from the general fund over into the water department because it's two separate and distinct funds. So with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion that those funds that he has accrued in the general fund, street department, be moved to the water fund. And I do have a copy of exactly what that is, if anybody is actually specifically interested in it.
Did everybody get it?
Gail has a comment.
Gail has a comment.
Can you do that? Because your general fund is raised by tax dollars, your water fund is raised by your users. Can you take money from your tax dollars?
I was just told to bring this up.
I gotta look at it. I don't know what else we
Oh,
can do.
I was just handed this, told to do it.
Because Todd Campbell, the employee that left, was budgeted for
Right.
in the water fund, so you already have money budgeted for that in the water fund, for that
Okay.
employee.
So you'll let me know how you want to do it.
Just hold this until I figure out what can and can't do.
Okay. I just also want to mention in regard to the water department, that we are going to begin the flushing of our hydrants throughout our water system. Beginning of October, the areas on the north side of East and West Market Street, plus Old Post Road, Mount Rutson Road, Village Green Apartments will be done. In the middle of the month, it will be Viola Hill Estates, Cross Drive, Route 308 East, and then at the end of the month, Rhine Cliff and River Road and the Gardens. So the public knows that we will be flushing the hydrants during the month of October throughout the system.
And we do make public notification of this through the newspapers, and it's on the website also. So October 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, October 9, 10, 11, and 12, and October 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 in designated areas. Lisa, make sure, remind me that I got to send this to the website. Okay.
And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, fire department?
Okay, the fire department responded to 72 alarms during the month of July, 41 in the village, 31 in the town. Year to date, the fire department has responded to 531 alarms, 248 in the town, and 283 in the village. That call ratio is going to put us considerably over last year's record a number of responses. So the fire department continues to be extremely busy and doing a great job as always. Fire department has brought a new member in, and so I would like to make a motion that the board approve Terry Lane as a firefighter. He's been accepted by the fire department, and the board needs to approve him.
Make a motion.
I made a motion.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So voted.
Also, in regard to the fire department has recently revised their bylaws and constitution. I think, Rich, you've taken a look at this, right? Yes. And Rich is okay with this. Most of the changes here were verbiage as opposed to actually scenarios where they actually changed procedures. So with that in mind, pertinent to the council's review, I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the revised bylaws and constitution of the fire department.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So voted.
And we have one other issue with the fire department. We have been approached by 3 members of the volunteer fire department who have expressed an interest to become involved in our municipal health insurance program. And pertinent to New York state law, it is the board's, the board has the capability of allowing volunteer firefighters to become a part of our health program, our village municipal health program. So my personal opinion is that I think considering what the volunteer firemen do here, I think it would be appropriate for the board to consider accepting them in the program. The issue becomes a logistical scenario as to exactly how we would monitor the scenario and as in regard to payment. The process would be that the volunteer firefighters who want to become involved in the municipal program would pay whatever fee that we are charged. So this would be a scenario where they would pay whatever we pay. And they would pay it on a monthly basis, although we can actually set up any kind of program which appears appropriate, but based on what I have looked into, it would appear that a monthly scenario would be the best scenario because that's the way we pay right now, right? So we do have 3 firefighters who would like to join. I see no reason why we should not accept that. And so therefore, I guess I would like to make a motion that the board approve these three volunteer firefighters to become a part of our health program based on the fact that they would, in fact, pay whatever the fee is that we pay.
I would just amend the motion and not have it say 3 firefighters, that we're
Yeah.
opening it up to members of the fire company.
Okay.
That way, anybody else that cared to join could. It's not limited to 3.
Right.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion, you know, I had talked with Wayne prior to the meeting a little bit about this, and I think what it's important we do here is we need to establish some type of protocol and policy that is going to detail the village's responsibility and the firefighter's responsibility as to payment, et cetera. And some type of, when they elect to enlist in this, have some type of a signed agreement that they agree to abide by, whatever it is. You know, the biggest concern, of course, always for us is going to be that we're now managing a plan that somebody has to give us money for. We have the ability with employees to deduct whatever we need to that we don't fund, that the employee funds out of their pay, but with a volunteer, of course, we don't have that capacity. So I think we need to establish some type of a protocol and procedure that's going to address how this will work so that it's all spelled out. Gail?
It was recommended that you set an open enrollment period that you would have each year for them to join. And you would set that.
That can be part of the policy. Yep.
So, Gail, just so I understand, by what you just said, did they not have the capability of getting in during certain times of the year? They have to get in at a certain time frame?
Right. That
Okay.
was what was recommended.
Okay.
That you do. But each time during the year, at that time, anybody in the fire department who could can join the
Okay, gotcha.
Rich, any experience in your work with fire companies in the past with something like this? No. So nothing we can take historical information from as far as a policy or procedure?
I can check, but first I've heard about it.
All right. Anybody have any input as to what we should be addressing here?
I have to recuse myself from this situation because 2 of the 3 people are related to, so.
Oh, jeez.
But, my brother and my sister-in-law, but I would like to, we have to distinguish, we put so much away, right? What's the, I don't know what the term is, Gail. The deductible. Yeah. We fund that for our village employees now,
Right.
part of it, so we'd have to distinguish that, saying we're not going to do this.
No, specifically. No.
What we're going to be agreeing to here is that these people can join, but they are responsible for funding whatever needs to be funded.
Okay.
The taxpayer isn't paying for that. All right? So that's all part of this policy and procedures, and I have to say, all right, for a single, this is how much the deductible is that they have to fund. For a family plan, this is how much the deductible is. This is how much the monthly payment is for each level. That's why I think it's important we have this all spelled out.
Right.
Wayne, I was just wondering if there's a probationary period that the firefighters go through once they're brought on as new members, and if we should adopt some kind of probationary period for this so that you have to serve for a year or more before you're eligible?
Yeah, there is a probationary period, right, and I agree that that would certainly be part of the agreement, that they'd have to be a bona fide member in good standing, obviously. That's a good point. I'll work on the,
I think it's a good
Agreement.
idea. We're making it more attractive for us to get volunteer firefighters, so I think that's important.
We should come up with a set of policies and then have a board about that.
I think it's a good idea, too. I just can't vote in this specific time right now.
Anybody else have any other comments, anything they want to talk about on this? All right, Wayne and I will get together and we'll try and craft something that's going to address this. All right? Anything else, Wayne, on fire?
nope, that's,
Street Department. Howie.
Okay. The storm drain lines and catch basins are being cleaned. Repairs on basins are also underway. We rented a truck called a VACCON truck to clean the storm lines, and is working very good. We rented that at a rate of $3,600 for the week. This company actually left the truck here with us, and they trained our guys on how to use it. Tony was one of the guys that was using it, and it worked very well, and we think we have cleaned a few of the storm drain lines out, but we have to wait for a heavy rain to come to see if
Let's say that.
that's true. And I was waiting today for a nice big thunderstorm, but it never came.
I hope it never gets tested.
It will. And again, I'd like to thank Heinz for helping us out with this. He's instrumental in helping us get this done. But Mike has noted that he has found garden debris in the storm drain lines and basins, and he would like to want me to mention that please do not leave the debris close to the catch basins, as it just gets washed right into the system. The recycling truck broke down, and the guys were able to fix it in-house. A backhoe alternator burned out, and they also fixed that in-house. Curb and stop line painting are underway. You may have noticed the bright yellow paint on the curbs. And also we have installed the no parking here, 2 corner signs.
No, we haven't.
No?
Nope, not yet.
Not all of them, sorry.
The ones on state highways haven't been put in yet, because we
Okay.
had DOT approval.
Okay, awaiting DOT approval on that one. Brush pickup is still underway and very heavy. Mowing of the parks and offices are done weekly. And Dave's Tree Service, who we contracted out last month, removed 10 trees without incident. And
Why do we need that without incident?
I don't know. I should proofread these things before I read them.
We could leave
It says
that
the brush pickup is heavy. We know brush pickup is heavy. And that's it from the Highway Department.
Okay,
Any questions?
just got this stuff today,
Yeah, I got those.
blacktop and stuff.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to get together with Mike and look that over.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, something I wanted to discuss with the board. We had, I think you guys saw all the correspondence recently with Barbara Schreiber and Dick Schreiber from the department store regarding their sidewalks. And the whole thing kind of got twisted around because everybody was kind of unclear on what proper policy or procedure would be. And we have 2 different issues there. There's sidewalk issues, and then there's the issue of the faux step, which is part of the building structure and falls underneath historic preservation. Sidewalk repairs don't. So I finally got to everybody and got it straightened out. And what they need to do there is the faux step that's part of the building needs to go through the planning board process as far as a historic preservation law. Apparently the state, SHPO, is not really concerned about it, the comments that we've gotten from them. So I think it's going to be a hurdle that Barbara and Dick can clear very easily. There are some sidewalk repairs that need to be done, so the idea is to do everything at the same time, have the contractor do everything. Sidewalk repairs there, some of it is caused by tree damage. So we have to be a willing participant